tutorial happens to be the continuation of the course MAC212, and today we'll be talking about different approaches. Alright, starting with the evolution approach. With this being said, let's jump straight into the just before then. Do also smash the like button. Do also mark the attendance by smashing the like button. So you have to subscribe to the channel. Do also subscribe to the channel, and also do also join our private class. We'll walk you through all the courses throughout the semester. Reach out to me on www.tutorial.com today. With this being said, let's jump straight into it. Okay. We have, can we all hear me? Awesome, awesome. We have MAC212. Now, we are taking our bearing from the evolutionary approach. When we talk about the evolutionary approach, what are we referring to? This is a process by which organisms developed naturally from a simple to complex organism over time. The process of development, which involved the transformation or the transition from naturally formed, all right, the natural, all right, process of transformation from a simple to complex organism over time. A good example of this approach is the Charles Darwin's theory of human evolution. Like Charles Darwin said, there was a time where humans were very primitive, all right, and with time, human became advanced and well developed. Okay, so as well, we have here the revolutionary. Okay, the revolutionary approach is a little bit different from the evolutionary. Please, well, and just like we have been talking, all right, just like we have been discussing, we'll be taking our bearing from social, all right, we'll be taking our bearing from social media, and we'll be taking our bearing talking about communication, all right, directed at the general public or the mass media, all right, and how the journalists are expected to perform, all right, their responsibility and to observe their ethics before we then talked about change. And now we are simply talking about certain approaches. Okay. Now the revolutionary approach is a little bit different. All right. It's said to be intensive and drastic change. All right. Revolution. Here we have intensive and what? Dramatic change. unlike the evolutionary that requires a process of transformation. All right, and this process is termed the natural process. But when we speak of the revolutionary, the margin is much. Here we have intensive and the intensive and drastic changes, all right, or we call it alterations of the patterns of social organization. Don't forget that we are simply talking about social settings and how the society can change. Okay, and we've talked about the evolutionary change, kind of change. Now we are simply talking about the revolutionary kind of approach to change. All right. So these changes may be political, economic, or even cultural, depending on the nature of the revolution. Okay. I think with two more classes, we are calling it a wrap with this course. And the next time we are coming to the course will be the Telegram class. I think this should be the second to the last class we're having on this course. Okay. So now this revolution approach could be violent. All right, we have the violent revolution where where it was experienced was the a good example of this violent revolution was the French Revolution. Please, like I usually say, everything we teach on this channel is basically for educational and informative purpose to educate and not to instigate, to cast stone or judge anyone or anybody. Please note that. So according to what we have in the material here, it says the good example, an example of the violent revolution is said to be the French Revolution of 1789. Of 1789. Okay. And we also had the Russian Revolution in 1917 and the Chinese Revolution. We have the Russia Revolution, all right, of 1917. And we have the Chinese Revolution of 1940, 1949. Okay, so we have that as that. We also have non-violent revolution, and a very good example of that is the Industrial Revolution in Western Europe. All right, so let's just say violent revolution. So we have the non-violent revolution, which we have the West, that's a industrial. Okay, we have the Industrial Revolution. All right, that's the Western, where we have the Western, the one that happened in the Western Europe. All right, Europe. So we have that as that. Now, let's take a step forward. According to De Fleur et al. In 1981, De Fleur et al. Says mass media could be defined as what? Devices for moving messages across distance or time to accomplish mass communication. All right, this is De Fleur et al. Contribution to what we have been talking about, which is mass media. Okay, so De Fleur et al. Okay, De Fleur et al. In 1981. All right, said mass media is defined as, all right, devices for moving. So let's just abbreviate mass media. So he says devices for moving. All right, devices for moving what? Devices for moving messages across distance. For moving messages across distance. Okay, for moving messages across distances, or it says distances or time. Please note that in order to what? Accomplish. Okay, to accomplish what we call mass communication. To accomplish mass communication. So we have that as that. This class might not really be a long one because we are almost done with the course itself. So now, a simple way to classify the mass media is to group them under print and electronic media. Okay. So talking about mass media, to further explain, all right, to further break things down and make things well understandable, okay, I want to divide them further. So we have the print media and we have the electronic media. Now, when we talk about the print media, I think that it is self-explanatory. Talking about the print media, we are simply talking about um, one of the functions of the mass media is the transmission of cultural heritage from. All right. Basically, when we're talking about the print media, we're talking about uh, content in hard copies. All right. Content in hard copy formats. And this is the otherwise. Content in soft copy formats. Now, under this, we have the likes of magazines, all right, comics book, all right, the likes of newspaper, all right, newspapers. Then under this one, we have the likes of electronics. Now, the likes of emails, all right, we have the likes of emails, all right, the internet, newspaper, we have e-magazines, all right, we also have e-news, okay, these are the likes, these are the examples of what we're talking about, okay, so we have that as that. Okay, now very quickly, let's talk about technology, all right, in mass media. Technology. Now, when we talk about technology, one thing we need to understand that it has revolutionized, all right, communication during the past decades. Okay, now technology has knowledge, all right, talking about knowledge about scientific or industrial methods of the use, all right, of this. Basically, what we're talking about technology is an aspect of what we talk about the culture. Okay, here we are simply talking about the innovation and creativity. Okay, innovation and creativity in building, all right, in enhancing communication, all right, as much as it can be, all right. And under this, we have the aids of, all right, satellites. Are we together? And when we talk about satellite, we're speaking about a chain link of equipment used in sending out or receiving electronic what? Microwave. We call it chain link. All right. It's said to be chain link of equipment. All right. Chain link of equipment. And it is used for what? Sending out and receiving electronic. Send and receive what we call electronic, okay, electronic microwaves or signals. Microwaves or signals. All right. It's one of the advantage of technology in communication. All right. So we have that as that. So we also have the internet. All right. It's also one of the advantages of technology. We also have the microchips. All right. So through the microchips, much information could be stored in little space. All right. Mass information can be stored in little space through um, through the help of the microchip. So we have that as that. So we'll call it wrap here. We'll call it wrap here for today. And I think in our next class, we will talk about the innovations. All right. Innovations in mass media. Okay. So I'm just going to tag that very quickly in mass media. So thank you very much, everyone. I believe you've been able to gain something into this class. So in our next class, it will be the final class. All right. And I will call you up with a course. Do have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you on subsequent tutorials. Bye for now.